Hello, welcome to Web of Stories. My name is Melinda and I am here to unveil my 2025 self-destruct list. So this is a list of 10 books that I am giving myself until the end, till December 31st, 2025 to read. If they are not read by that point, I have to get rid of them. These are the 10 oldest print books. With a couple exceptions, I have some works of poetry that I left out, things like that. But I should say most of them are novels. But I have until December 31st to read them or else they're gone. Before I get into them, this is the second, 2025 will be the second year I've done this. I first did this in 2024 and I still have 2 books to read that I do plan to read this year. But I have one that I just want to let you know I am taking off. I'm unhauling and it's kind of killing me to do it, but it's this one I've heard is a fantastic book. Behold the Dreamers by Mbolo Mbue. I've heard this is a fantastic book and I've been looking at it all year and I gotta be honest, I just am not feeling it. I know it's supposed to be good and I'm just like not there. Now my bookish best friend did tell me that the audio of this is fantastic, so I may still read this at some point. I'm just not reading this particular copy. It is going to be unhauled. But the 2 that I have left are Eleanor Oliphant is Completely Fine and Liar, Temptress, Soldier, Spy. I think that's the title. But let me get to what I have for 2025. And this is in the order that I'm pulling it out of the bag. This first one is the book of Little Acts by Lauren Francis-Sharma. This is historical fiction. I'll read just a little bit of it. In 1796, in Spanish Trinidad, young Rosa Rendon quietly but purposely rebels against the life others expect her to lead. Bright, competitive, and opinionated, Rosa sees no reason she should learn to cook and keep house, for it is obvious her talents lie in running the farm she alone views as her birthright. But when her homeland falls to British rule, it becomes increasingly unclear whether its free Black property owners, Rosa's family among them, will be allowed to keep their assets, their land, and ultimately their freedom. So, historical fiction, I will say, I forgot to mention this before I started. If anyone wants to buddy read any of these in 2025, let me know because buddy reads will get me to read. So, book number 1. And this is Ruff House by Tina Ontiveros. I got this off a list that Powell's put out of like essential Oregon books. Here's a little bit about Ruff House. This is a memoir. A story of growing up in turmoil, Ruff House recounts a childhood divided between a charming, mercurial, abusive father and a mother struggling with small-town poverty. It is also a story of generational trauma, especially for the women, a story of violent men and societal restrictions, of children not always chosen and frequently raised alone. Firmly rooted in logging camps of the Pacific Northwest at the end of the 20th century, Ruff House expands to timeless and universal themes. So, not an upper. But it is set in Oregon. The author lives in the Gorge area, the Columbia River Gorge. She lives in the Dalles, so this is a local-ish author to me. What do I have next? Let's see what I pull out of here. I should also say I have actually done try a chapter of most of these, mostly because in 2024 I ended up just DNFing a number of the books that I had pulled, and that was kind of pointless. So I did a first run through, and I did actually take a few out. So the likelihood that I will actually read these is a little bit higher this year. Okay, so the next is one of 7, I think it's 7, or it was one of a lot of Book of the Month books that I have not yet read. And this is As Bright as Heaven by Susan Meissner. This is in 1918 Philadelphia, a city is teeming with promise. Even as its young men go off to fight in the Great War, there are opportunities for a fresh start on its cobblestone streets. Into this bustling town come Pauline Bright and her husband, filled with hope that they can now give their 3 daughters, Evelyn, Maggie, and Willa, a chance at a better life. And then it goes into the Spanish flu. I think what happened was I got this book and then COVID. I was like, I'm not touching this book for a while. So this one I'm giving myself a little bit of grace on that it has sat on my shelves for so long, but yeah. So there's that. This is Conjur Women by Afia Atakora. Conjur Women is a sweeping story that brings to the world of the South before and after the Civil War, brings the world of the South before and after the Civil War vividly to life. Spanning generations, it explores the lives of three unforgettable women. Miss Maybelle, a wise healer, her precocious and observant daughter Rue, who was reluctant to follow in her mother's footsteps as a midwife, and their master's daughter Varina. The secrets and bonds among these women come to a head at the birth of an accursed child who sets the town people alight with fear, spreading superstition, and threatens their newly won tenuous freedom. So I'm reading that, and Varina, that name caught my eye. That was the name of Jefferson Davis's, the president of the Confederacy. That was his wife's name. So I don't know if that's the Varina who's in this book or not. I know back in the mid 18th or 19th century, they gave their kids weird names, or names we don't use anymore. I shouldn't say weird. Names that are unfamiliar to us today, but Varina does stick out. So I don't know if that's Varina Davis or just someone named Varina. Another one that I've been meaning to read for a very long time. Another one I've heard is fantastic, An American Marriage by Tayari Jones. I have heard this is very sad, which I think is why it's kind of stayed for a while, since 2018, on my shelves. I've been reading a lot of sad books lately, and the world is what it is, so let's just embrace it. But if you don't know, here's a little bit of the synopsis. Newlyweds Celestial and Roy are the embodiment of both the American dream and the New South. He is a young business executive, and she is an artist on the brink of an exciting career. But as they settle into the routine of their life together, they are suddenly ripped apart by circumstances neither could have imagined when, while visiting Roy's parents in their small Louisiana town, Roy is arrested and sentenced to 12 years in prison for a crime Celestial knows he did not commit. So that's An American Marriage. This was, I believe, an Oprah book. I don't know, can't remember. I know it. I've heard nothing but good things about it. This is my Hazel Gaynor for the year, apparently, and this is The Cottingly Secret. This is about, in 1917, in England, in Cottingly, I guess, these two young girls said they found fairies, and they got these pictures taken of them, and it was this huge thing. Was it a hoax? Was it not? That's what this book is about. Hazel Gaynor is a pretty reliable author for me. Her books may not blow me away, but I do enjoy them. They're a fun way to spend the time. So this one sounds very interesting. I almost read this year and just didn't get to it. I'm gonna go this one because this one is not book of the month, and then the rest are all book of the month. Remembrance by Rita Woods. So this is a triple timeline. Ohio, present day, a refugee struggling to rebuild her life in America after the devastating Haitian earthquake is suddenly inexplicably bound to a mysterious old woman who is not at all what she seems. So Haitian immigrant in Ohio, that seems unintentionally timeful. So we'll see. Haiti, 1791, on the brink of revolution. When the slave Abigail is forced from her children to take her mistress to safety, she discovers New Orleans has its own powers, and so does she. And then 1857, New Orleans. A city of unrest. Following tragedy, housegirl Margot is sold just before her 18th birthday and her promised freedom. Desperate, she escapes and chases a whisper. Remembrance. Each woman will face choices. Each woman will claim her power. So that is Remembrance by Rita Woods. This one is The Holdout by Graham Moore. This is a courtroom drama. It's got a very long one. I know it's something to do with the jury, like there's someone on the jury who might be implicated in the crime. The synopsis is not easy to pull apart out of, but that's what that is. Now I've got to get the bag that just fell off my lap. Okay, so this is a book that I think I might already have a buddy read going with, because I know Marie-Andrea and I talked about doing a buddy read of this one, and it's another one I've heard nothing but good things about, and that is The Girl with the Louding Voice by Abby Daré. Aduni is a 14-year-old Nigerian girl who knows what she wants, an education. The only daughter of a broke father, she is a valuable commodity. Removed from school and sold as a third wife to an old man, Aduni finds that her life amounts to this: 4 goats, 2 bags of rice, some chickens, and a new TV. When unspeakable tragedy swiftly strikes in her new home, she is secretly sold as a domestic servant to a household in the wealthy enclaves of Lagos, where no one will talk about the strange disappearance of her predecessor, Rebecca. Nobody but Aduni. So that is The Girl with the Louding Voice. Finally, and this is the one I was actually iffiest about, because I have heard varying things on this. People either love this book or hate it. And I have not read this author yet, so we're gonna see, but it does follow one of my favorite tropes, which is an Agatha Christie and then there were none trope, and that is The Guest List by Lucy Foley. There's a wedding on an island, and then there were none kind of thing. So that's all you need to know. So there you go. I don't have plans for when I'm going to read any of these, but as I said, I am open to buddy reads. So please let me know if you are interested in reading any of these with me in 2025. So there you go. Thank you very much. Let me know your thoughts. And if you do a self-destruct list and you do a video on it, tag me or let me know, because I'm always very interested in seeing people's self-destruct lists. Thank you very much. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.